Across the sky above Proxima Centauri 4, a line blazed, marked by the chilling nuclear engine burn as the UNSS Mercy traversed the system. Following it, the cyber pursuit vessels with their sleek, menacing design sliced through space. Captain Elena Reyes, at the helm of the medical frigate, observed the tactical display with mounting anxiety. "Evacuation pod status?" she inquired. Lieutenant Cotto, wiping his brow, responded, "78% deployed, Captain. 4 minutes until the last patients are clear." "We lack those 4 minutes," Reyes murmured, observing the diminishing gap between them and the cyber ships. The UNSS Mercy, designed neither for combat nor speed, served as a mobile hospital. Its white and red markings, symbols of medical neutrality since humanity's dawn, were supposed to be inviolable. "Captain," Communications Officer Park's voice faltered, "I'm broadcasting our status continuously. They're receiving, but they're ignoring us." Reyes nodded, understanding that the Civi knew precisely what they were targeting. The ship experienced a tremor as long-range fire impacted their shields. Below in the medbay, Dr. Maya Chen braced herself against a surgical table, her gaze upward as if penetrating the ship's structure to see the approaching enemies. "Continue," she urged her team. "Prioritize critical patients for the evacuation pods." The frigate, returning from the front lines, was laden with over 800 casualties from the Battle of Ta City soldiers, civilians, and even captured Cyver, all treated equally. Maya had operated on 3 of the Cyver herself. Another impact, more forceful, caused flickering lights and blaring klaxons. "Damage to decks 5 through 8, the ship's AI announced calmly. "Hull breach imminent. Evacuate to emergency stations." Maya assisted a nurse, Guya Hoveruni, in moving an unconscious patient toward the escape pod bays. "What about those in cryostasis?" she inquired. Chief Medical Officer Alvarez, his face pale, joined them. "We're relocating as many as possible, but losses are inevitable. We must accept that." Maya hadn't joined the United Nations Space Service Medical Corps to accept patient losses, yet she understood the harsh realities of triage. The priority was to save whomever they could. On the bridge, Captain Ray received a dire report. "Direct hit to engineering, FTL drive offline. Sublight engines at 18%. She closed her eyes briefly, then reopened them with renewed determination. "Rotate the ship. Position us between the civery and the evacuation pods. We'll buy them time." In the 3 years since encountering the Saiguri Collective, humanity had striven to comprehend them. Synopsiologists posited that the Saiguri operated under vastly different moral principles, prioritizing efficiency and collective advancement over individual rights. However, their targeting of medical ships seemed illogical, until one considered the tactical benefit. The UNSS possessed the most advanced medical technology, boasting unparalleled recovery rates. By targeting the medical corps, the Civery aimed to ensure future casualties remained fatal. It was a brutal, logical strategy, crossing a line humanity had long respected. Maya arrived at the evacuation bay as another explosion shook the ship. A falling beam nearly crushed a group of patients. She noticed blood on her face, realizing she'd sustained a head wound. "Dr. Chen," a medic called, "this pod is prepared. The patients are nearly all evacuated. This is the last medical personnel group. Captain's orders." Maya allowed herself to be ushered into the cramped pod. As the doors closed, she glimpsed the UNSS Mercy, her home for 2 years. The frigate had positioned itself as a barrier between the escape pods and the cyber vessels, its once pristine hull now damaged and burning. Another barrage struck the engine section, creating a fiery bloom in space. The pod's engines engaged, propelling them away. Maya closed her eyes, unable to continue watching. 3 days later, the full extent of the atrocity was revealed. The USS Mercy wasn't an isolated target. Across human space, medical facilities had been simultaneously attacked. The Ciari had strategically targeted humanity's ability to heal. Maya sat in a debriefing room aboard the U.S. Intrepid, a carrier that had recovered her pod. Her hands trembled. Admiral Hassan paced, his expression a mask of controlled anger. "The casualty count is 4,213 medical personnel and patients. 3 hospital ships destroyed. 7 frontier stations bombed, despite clear non-military markings. He paused, addressing the survivors and officers. The Psi Collective has formally notified Earth that they consider medical facilities an asymmetric advantage, thus legitimate targets. Outrage rippled through the room. "Our response, sir?" a colonel inquired. Admiral Hassan's expression hardened. As of 0600, the Security Council has authorized Operation Hippocrates Vengeance. He displayed a schematic of a cyber installation. Intelligence has identified the Psi Command facility responsible for ordering the attacks. It's on their homeworld Cyberus Prime in the fortified Kettle region. Maya stared, incredulous. A strike on the Civivari homeworld seemed suicidal. The Admiral continued. "This won't be a conventional operation. The Civivar anticipate a retaliatory attack on their medical infrastructure. We will not. Humanity is superior to that." He paused, his gaze settling on Maya. "Instead, we're forming a team of combat-trained medical personnel for a surgical strike. The objective? Eliminate the specific Psi commanders responsible." "Sir," Maya spoke involuntarily, "I'm a doctor. We swear to do no harm." Admiral Hassan nodded. "Indeed, Dr. Chin. Normally we wouldn't ask this, but these are extraordinary circumstances. The Psi believe our ethics will prevent an effective response. They anticipate an action or an equivalent response, both factored into their strategy." He approached her. "What they misunderstand is that an enemy whose ethics have been pushed to the breaking point is far more dangerous." Maya recalled her deceased colleagues, the patients lost, and Captain Rice's sacrifice. "When does training commence?" she asked softly. Admiral Hassan's expression softened slightly. "I anticipated that. Briefing begins in 1 hour." As Maya exited, she saw her reflection. The woman staring back was different from the doctor who had boarded the UNSS Mercy. That woman believed in the sanctity of all life. This woman still held that belief, but understood that protecting it sometimes required difficult choices. The Civi had miscalculated. They had underestimated the transformative power of violated ethics, turning healers into dedicated, precise, and motivated warriors. They were about to learn this lesson. Surgical strike. The Cyvari never anticipated this form of retaliation, Colonel Winters stated, addressing the 20 volunteers in the stealth transport Nightshade's briefing room. Their calculations assumed we'd either target their medical facilities or launch a conventional military response. Maya Chen sat in the front, grappling with the contrast between her recent combat training and her medical background. Beside her were other medical professionals, all volunteers who had lost colleagues in the attacks. "What they fail to grasp," Winters continued, "is that human ethics aren't a vulnerability, they're a dam, and they've just breached it." The holographic display showed their target, the Central Command Spire in Kettle, the Cyber Homeworld's military core. Intelligence suggests Supreme Commander Vasix and the 5 members of the Strategic Directorate responsible for the attacks will be gathered there for a victory celebration. Our intelligence comes from an unexpected source. Winters gestured to a figure at the room's rear. A Cyvari stepped forward, its exoskeleton gleaming. Murmurs spread through the team. Maya recognized the Cyvari as one of the wounded she had treated aboard the Mercy. "This is Kivix," Winters explained, "a medical researcher who defected after observing our treatment of their wounded. Apparently, treating enemy casualties with equal priority was revolutionary to them." Kivex's eyes scanned the room. "Your ethical frameworks baffled our strategists," the Cyver stated, its voice translated. "They perceived your care for enemies as inefficient, failing to understand it as your strength." The alien indicated the holographic plans. "I will guide you through the security. I only request you remember not all Sari condone the Directorate's decision. Many were appalled." Maya studied the alien she had meticulously treated. Now that same being was aiding them. Colonel Winters continued, "We'll deploy in 5 teams, each with a primary target. This is surgery, not revenge. We remove the malignancy without harming the surrounding tissue." She emphasized, "Civilian casualties are unacceptable. Uninvolved medical personnel are not to be harmed. We'll demonstrate what human ethics truly mean, not by abandoning them, but by applying them precisely." The Nightshade navigated Saiguri space using experimental stealth. The ship was an engineering marvel designed to evade the Cyver's sensor networks, but the team's equipment was even more remarkable. These are METAC suits, the quartermaster explained as Maya was fitted. Medical tactical response armor designed for combat medics but modified for our needs. The suit enhanced strength and speed while preserving dexterity for microsurgery. A medical diagnostic system was built into the forearm, supplemented with weapons for this mission. The targeting system links to your visual cortex, the tech added. It extends the precision you use in surgery, allowing you to neutralize a target with similar accuracy. Maya tested the responsive armor. How many exist? 20, all prototypes, all in this room. The infiltration of Kettle proceeded, as planned. The teams deployed from high atmosphere, their descent masked by a coincidental meteor shower, a coincidence Colonel Winters attributed to the universe's sense of justice. Maya's team, including 2 combat nurses and a trauma surgeon, moved through the outskirts of the Psi capital. Their METAC suits' adaptive camouflage rendered them nearly invisible. Remember your training, Maya communicated. We're doctors first. Every action must be necessary and precise. Contact, Jensen, one of the nurses, reported. Security patrol, 12 o'clock. Maya observed a group of cyber guards. These weren't their targets, just soldiers performing their duty. Hold position, she ordered. Let them pass. They waited as the patrol passed, close enough to touch. One guard paused, sensing something amiss, but they continued. Path clear, Jensen reported. The team proceeded to their entry point, a maintenance shaft identified by Kex. Their target, Subcommander Nalax, was reportedly in the Strategic Planning Center on Level 47. Nalax had identified medical ships as priority targets, arguing it would significantly shorten the war. Ascending through the building, Maya reflected on her oath. First, do no harm. But another part resonated now. I will prevent disease whenever I can, for prevention is preferable to cure. Their actions were preventative medicine on a galactic scale. We've reached level 47, Dr. Kutsoros, the trauma surgeon, reported. Security systems bypassed. Maya nodded. Proceed to target location. Non-lethal restraint for non-targets. The Strategic Planning Center was a vast chamber displaying the Saiguri campaign. Maya's enhanced vision identified Subcommander Nalax before a display showing the debris field of the UNSS Mercy. The Cyver was using the destruction as a teaching tool, highlighting the efficiency of targeting medical capacity. Maya felt a cold fury, but focused it. They moved silently, deploying neural disruptors to incapacitate the junior officers. Nalax turned, eyes widening in the Cyver expression of shock. Impossible, the commander clicked. No human vessel could reach Cyberus Prime undetected. Maya stepped forward, her helmet retracting. Do you recognize me, Subcommander? Nalax's appendages twitched. You are human medical personnel. You should not be here. My name is Dr. Maya Chen. I served aboard the UNSS Mercy, the ship you're so proudly displaying as destroyed. Understanding dawned on the Siveri. You were not neutralized. No, but many of my colleagues and patients were. People under my care whom I had sworn to protect. Nalax retreated. This is warfare. Strategic necessities. Save it, Maya interrupted. We've accessed your communications. We know you personally identified medical vessels as targets, arguing against those who opposed it. The Cyver's posture shifted, becoming aggressive. What do you intend? Torture? Revenge? Humans claim ethical superiority, yet infiltrate our homeworld on an assassination mission. Maya shook her head. Not assassination, justice, and education. She raised her arm, a device extending from her suit. This contains a modified neural disruptor. It won't kill you, but it will rewrite your neural pathways, giving you empathy. Nalax recoiled. You cannot. That violates... It will allow you to feel what others feel, to understand pain and suffering as lived experiences, Maya stated clinically. You'll feel the deaths aboard the Mercy. You'll understand your strategic necessities cost. This is worse than death, Nalax hissed. No, Maya corrected. This is medicine. I'm curing you of a condition that causes harm. I'm fulfilling my oath. Across the command center, similar scenes unfolded. No lives were taken, but the Cyvery Strategic Directorate was being systematically treated. 3 hours later, the teams extracted, leaving behind a transformed cyber leadership, now neurologically incapable of separating their decisions from their consequences. Returning to human space, Maya sat alone, staring at her reflection. She was neither the idealistic doctor nor the vengeful survivor. She was someone new, understanding that healing sometimes required intervention at the source, and that mercy could take unexpected forms. Admiral Hassan awaited the Nightshade's docking. "Mission successful?" he inquired. Maya nodded. "All targets treated. No casualties." The Admiral studied her. "And how are you, Doctor?" "Processing," she admitted. "What we did wasn't in any textbook." "No," Hassan agreed. "But perhaps it should be. The Sivari have issued a cessation of attacks on medical facilities and proposed new interspecies protocols protecting medical neutrality." Maya raised an eyebrow. That was fast. Apparently, their leadership has had a change of heart regarding medical ethics. A hint of a smile touched the Admiral's face. Sometimes the most effective treatment prevents further treatment. 2 weeks later, Maya stood before a gathering of medical personnel at a memorial service in Geneva, where the first conventions protecting medical personnel had been signed. Placing a flower at the monument, she reflected on their accomplishment. The Sivari would never again target healers, not from fear, but from understanding. It wasn't revenge, it was preventative medicine, and sometimes prevention was the highest form of healing. Operation Hippocrates. Vengeance remained classified, but a new understanding emerged within human space. Their ethical frameworks weren't constraints, but foundations of strength. Across the stars, other species noted that humans would go to extraordinary lengths to protect their healers, not with brute force, but with the surgical precision born from millennia of learning to heal and, when necessary, to fight for that right.